Let me ask you a simple question. Are you earning more than you did 5 years ago, but somehow living worse? Your salary went up, your stress went up, but your life, it feels tighter, smaller, heavier. And every month when that paycheck hits your account, there's this quiet, sinking thought. Where did it all go? Today, we're breaking down why your paycheck feels smaller every year, even when the numbers say you're earning more. We'll uncover what's really happening behind the scenes that nobody explains clearly. This isn't about motivation or just working harder. This is about understanding the system you're living inside, so you can finally start playing a different game. First, let's talk about the paycheck illusion. On paper, everything looks fine. You got raises, maybe you switched jobs for a better title and a bigger number. Your salary increased. But your lifestyle? It didn't upgrade, it feels like it shrank. That's because your paycheck lies to you. Not intentionally, but because money is relative, not absolute. A $3,000 paycheck 10 years ago didn't mean the same thing it means today. And a $5,000 paycheck today doesn't buy what it did even just a few years ago. The number on your check went up, but the value of each dollar went down. That gap between the number and its real-world value, that's where your stress lives. The second culprit is inflation, and it's stealing from you quietly. Inflation doesn't kick your door in and announce itself. It sneaks into your life silently. It just raises prices, slowly, constantly. Your rent creeps up by $100. Groceries cost a little more each week. Your car insurance premium goes up again. Education costs soar, and healthcare costs just explode. But your salary, that usually moves in big, slow steps. Maybe once a year, if you're lucky. Inflation, on the other hand, moves every single day. So even if your annual raise is 8% and the official inflation rate is 6%, you didn't really win. Why? Because your real expenses didn't stay average. The price hikes hit the things you absolutely can't avoid. Your food, your shelter, your transportation, your health. That's why it feels like you're running as fast as you can, but the ground beneath you is moving backward. Third, let's look at the taxes you don't always feel, but you pay anyway. You don't just lose money at the store. You lose a huge chunk of it before it ever reaches your bank account. There's income tax, payroll deductions for Social Security and Medicare. And then there are the hidden, indirect taxes baked into the price of everything you buy. You see your gross salary on your offer letter and feel great, but you have to live on your net reality. And here's the painful truth. As you earn more, you often move into higher tax brackets. So the government takes an even bigger percentage. Your lifestyle costs are rising, but your ability to save isn't keeping pace. The system rewards you for earning more, then punishes you for it, trapping you right in the middle. You're working harder than ever, but feeling poorer. Number 4 is an enemy that lives inside our own habits. Lifestyle creep. And let's be honest with ourselves. Some of this is on us. You didn't upgrade your lifestyle because you're greedy or irresponsible. You upgraded because it just felt normal. A slightly better phone. A more reliable car. A nicer apartment in a safer neighborhood. You added a few subscriptions for convenience or entertainment. Nothing extravagant, just reasonable upgrades to improve your quality of life. But here's the thing. Reasonable stacks up. One small upgrade after another adds up to a much higher baseline of monthly expenses. And once your lifestyle upgrades, it almost never wants to downgrade. So as your paycheck grows, your financial commitments grow even faster. Your money now has less freedom than it did before. You're not broke, you're just boxed in. The fifth reason is something almost no one talks about. Your time is getting more expensive. The older you get, the more you value your time. You start to value comfort more. You value convenience more. You value stability and peace of mind more. And all of those things cost money. You pay for grocery delivery to save an hour. You pay for a direct flight to reduce travel stress. You pay a little extra for a reliable brand to avoid the uncertainty of a cheaper one breaking down. So even if your paycheck is growing, your personal standards for what you're willing to tolerate are growing even faster. That's not a weakness. That's just a natural part of being human. But you have to understand that the economic system we live in was built knowing this would happen. And that brings us to the sixth and biggest reason of all. Your paycheck feels smaller because your money is idle. It isn't working for you. For most people, the financial story is simple. Money comes in from the job, and money goes out for the bills. End of story. There's no growth, no leverage, no compounding. You're stuck in a direct exchange of your time for money. But you're never converting that money into freedom. So every year, you're a little more tired, you have a little more responsibility, and you feel a little more trapped. You're putting in the same effort, maybe even more, but it's having less and less of an impact on your actual freedom. This whole situation isn't just a financial problem. It's emotionally exhausting. You did what you were told to do. You studied hard, you got a good job, you work hard, you're responsible, you're patient. But patience without progress feels like punishment. That's why your shrinking paycheck doesn't just feel small, it feels insulting. It feels like a betrayal, because it represents all this effort that didn't translate into the control and security you were promised. It is a constant reminder that the rules you were taught to play by DUNT seem to be leading to a win. So, what's the real question you should be asking? The problem isn't just, how do I earn more money? A bigger shovel won't help if you're digging in a hole that's constantly caving in. The real questions are, how do I stop my money from leaking value? How do I protect my purchasing power from being eroded every single day? How do I reduce my dependency on a single paycheck? And most importantly, how do I make money less emotional? Because once money stops controlling your emotions, your life starts to feel lighter and more spacious, even before you're rich. So, what actually changes this feeling? The paycheck itself doesn't need to be bigger. Your personal financial system needs to be stronger. This means focusing on a few key areas, lowering your fixed costs, so you have more breathing room each month. Creating more flexible or multiple streams of income, so you're not dependent on one source. Building a small portfolio of assets that can grow quietly in the background, like index funds or a side business, and investing in skills that compound in value over time. When your future doesn't depend entirely on one number hitting your bank account on the first of the month, that's when the paycheck finally stops feeling small. It just becomes one part of a much bigger, more resilient picture. Your paycheck feels smaller every year, not because you're failing, but because the game has changed and nobody gave you the updated rulebook. Once you see that clearly, you can stop blaming yourself. And once you stop blaming yourself, you can finally start building something better. Not something louder, not something riskier, just something smarter. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content on how to navigate the new rules of money and work.